Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're doing well on a Saturday afternoon. Thank you for listening to Real Estate with Ryan. If you guys don't know, my name's Ryan Coleman, your host, always, along with my lovely co-host, April Coleman.
Hello. How's everyone doing?
Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
You heard the bell?
Uh-oh.
It's what time is it? What time is it?
I don't know.
It's about to be game time.
Oh, yes.
It's about to be that time in East Tennessee.
That's right.
It's football time, guys. It doesn't get any better. A couple weeks out.
Somebody's getting excited.
Oh, we're getting real excited. We're going to be wearing some orange around here. We got some exciting things going on the show. Giving away some, my wife said I couldn't do it, but we're going to do it.
Well.
We're going to give away some tickets.
So I'm going to give my own self some tickets.
She
We're going to go to the game.
We're going to give away some tickets on Real Estate with Ryan. We're going to do some fun stuff here as the balls heat up, and we're excited for a new season for them and doing a lot of new things that we've got coming out. So make sure you guys are out and about. If you haven't liked our page, follow our page. We're always going to give you up-to-date information on real estate. We've got some nice giveaways, some ball tickets, so if you're not on there, you can't win.
Yep.
And sometimes we're going to do those on the fly, so they may be quick, so keep in mind to watch the page.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
So hope everybody's doing well. Like we said, fall is gearing up in the East Tennessee market, and we're excited about that. We're going to talk about some real estate, as always.
As always.
We're not going to talk about stocks. We're not going to talk about bonds.
I don't know anything about that.
Hey, how about what's in the news politically? How about that? No. I don't want to do that? We'll leave that to these guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We're strictly real estate guys. Anything and everything real estate, we're going to try to bring it to you. Most importantly, we can give you the up-to-date information in your market from two experts that are out here every day doing it. Not a big team, not a group of agents. Us in the trenches every day.
7 days a week.
7 days a week. We love it. We love what we do. Couldn't be blessed to do it more. And thank you guys for following us and keeping us up to date, as always. So we've got a good show for you. I wanted to start off and talk about a little bit of the market. And there's some news and there's some buzz out there about the market and what's going on. And it's a seller's market, buyer's market, inventory up, inventory down, up, down. Is that my daughter was singing? Hey, my daughter was singing that up, down.
I think that's really
We'll skip the singing, but that's where we're at. Up, down market. Where are we at? And I think what you're seeing in a 7-year cycle is obviously there's some changing, and I think it's important that April's going to talk about this, but the inventory has increased some to what other people are thinking, and I think because we're so active in the market and cover a wide range, we're seeing that. We talked about one of our previous shows, and that's not the topic of our show, but I do want to kind of indicate as we go through, and we're in the third quarter, we're not far from the fourth quarter and the fall market in here. I think you need to know that. Most importantly, that nationwide inventory has jumped 12.2% in the second quarter of 2018. It's one of the most competitive markets in history.
Yes.
No question.
That's been called.
Of the nation's 100 largest cities, 30 saw an increase in inventory. And then the growth of it was 100% in the Sun Belt, of course, southwestern areas. One city you might know, good old Nashville, 52% surge.
Yes.
That
we don't have that kind of surge. But
well, believe it or not, we
hot.
see some folks that come on down here from Nashville.
Yeah, because they said it's so expensive.
And especially buying some investment properties that we have, even if they're relocating, they're living on the outskirts. Salt Lake City, 48.6%. Of course, Dallas, Fort Worth saw about 30%.
Yes.
It's only a slight bump in the inventory, guys, and we still see that home sales are down 5.3% since the second quarter in 2007. I think we were talking about that.
2017.
But
it's still tighter inventory.
The new figures represent the first gain of double-digit yearly decrease in inventory. But I think what you're seeing, and I think this is the beginning of it, and of course some of the experts are going to say, well, we haven't seen 1 or 2 months is not going to make a difference. But what we're seeing in the marketplace in general is there is a little bit more inventory now that's coming on the market.
Right.
Buyers don't feel that the spring rush is here and we've got to make an immediate decision. So what is that seeing on inventory on the market? What are we doing to be competing?
Yes. You got to think about those things.
So again, this has not changed the marketplace as far as prices. But it is something to watch for. I think you're seeing more price adjustments in the marketplace across the board than we've seen in a long time. I know we've had several conversations with our sellers and information about what's in the market and how important that is and what we need to do to get their home under contract. Truly, it was mentioned that even though the home prices were up 4.8% since last quarter, they're up 5.8% year over year. So we know that their sellers are getting more money in their pocket, more opportunity out there, but I think what we want to just kind of not alert, but to let everybody know, understanding that we are seeing an increase in inventory.
Yes.
So to say the inventory is not increasing is not 100% there. And it's across the country. It's hard to see it, especially when things start trending in the beginning part of the market. You know, usually you get that rollover effect where you catch the news 6 months later. We always want to be the first ones to bring you the breaking news and know where we're at and where that market is. I think in a 7-year cycle, we know that real estate has been strong. Had a conversation with a great client yesterday on some luxury property, and they're smart, obviously, and know the market and been around a long time, and they see certain trends, certain things in the marketplace. And I think it's understandable right now as an opportunity where you can sell at a great price. We're getting 5 to 7% more than we've seen in a while.
Right.
There is less selection, but I think some of that is changing with some increase and things you need to work out. You know, if you put your home on the market in fall, ultimately kids going back to school, that's a great time. But we always find during the fall market, it's where our most motivated buyers are. We love it.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. If you have to move, you're serious. Now, are you looking for numbers of people, or are we looking for quality? We're always looking for quality over quantity. And I think that that's important. So we don't need 15 showings to make a deal. It only takes one, right?
It does.
And so how important that is that we get the quality, but it's so important in this marketplace that you have the right market, the right team, right agent behind you that's going to put you in that position. And you need somebody who knows the market. So where things are changing, that's kind of where we really just are not on, we're hands-on, because we have to be hands-on. I think in this marketplace, when it changes, we've got to guide you through that process.
Yeah, and I think we were talking about earlier that we did see where we were having, and I think we've talked about this before, we saw a large amount of showings on our listings, and then it kind of backed off a little bit, and then we have now seen a lot more of our homes with showings, contracts coming in. But it's one of those things, maybe they do have a little bit more inventory to choose from because we'll have offers come in, and it's like they don't really fight as hard to get it worked out. And they say, oh, well, I was thinking about this other house down the street, so maybe I'll go down there. So I think that before, where it was so tight that, you were getting offers and sometimes multiple offers, and maybe it slowed down a little bit, but now it's increased because even on one of our listings, we just had 3 offers come in. So and
that's a great sign. I mean, that owner was on the market and was trying to do some marketing, had some different things he was doing to make the scenario. But keep in mind, guys, I mean, that's what it's all about. There's 3 or 4 homes in that subdivision that have been on the market for a while. We had it less than a week, and we've got 3 offers and maybe working on a 4th.
Right.
That's the perfect world where we get everybody competing and fighting for the homes. And to get that auction-like environment with a full retail price sometimes is hard. But I think it's understanding, knowing where we're at in the marketplace, and we were able to walk that seller through that. And obviously, we strive for great results like that. April, tell the market. I guess everybody's wondering where the mortgage market is at. What are we seeing on the mortgage rates, interest rates, and where we're at today, moving forward?
Oh yes, we were talking about a little bit about the mortgage rates, and we were also talking a little bit about home prices. So those are a couple more things that we can talk about. And it looks like a 30-year fixed rate averaged 4.60 in the week of August 9th. So that was
just a couple of days ago.
Just a couple of days ago, and that was from Freddie Mac, and that the 15-year mortgage rate averaged 4.05, which is down from 4.08. So it went down slightly. And also they were talking about that more people maybe just
Well, we're coming up on I hate to cut April short, we're coming up on a hard break, but what we've got to do, and this is most important, to stay with us, is we're talking about veterans, non-home buying mistakes that you may need to know if you're purchasing your home. Stay with us. You're listening to Real Estate with Ryan. You got to listen. We're on.
How long 1 minute?
Hey, no, but I had 1 minute, but you kept going.
I know, I was going to finish my sentence.
Okay, but you...
Do you understand how long 1 minute is?
No, but he was bringing the music up in the air. I had to cut it off. No,
And then for another 30 seconds.
No. You can finish yours.
You have another 30 seconds when the music comes on, right?
Okay. We're on. Hey, Adam. Hey, did we cut out too early on that one? Okay. So you want to come back in on the mortgage?
That's fine.
You want me to lead us back in? You want to bring us back in?
That's fine. I don't know what's talking
Huh?
about.
Do you want me to bring us back in? So we're going to have to go. We have to go to the veterans and kind of go over that. Because they're. Yep. Are you leading? Me or you?
You.
Thank you guys for staying with us. I got the evil eye there. I think I cut off April. I had the look. You know, you guys, you got in the look. I cut her off as we were going to break and we were talking about that. She said, I had 30 seconds left. You cut me off. And I got the look.
Just remember.
So you know how this goes.
So continuing on.
So what we were talking about in April, I didn't mean to cut in there, but we were chatting about understanding on the mortgage markets. But stay with us, guys, because we've got something very important for veterans. As we go through the mortgage update, we're talking about non-home buying costs. Veterans that are active military or non-active military should know. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get to that in the close of our show. So stay with us.
You got it.
Okay, boss.
So like I was saying is that, if I can pick up where I left off, that the interest rates are going down a little bit, but that we're also seeing maybe some people saying, well, I'm just going to stay where I'm at. And so even though it's decreased slightly, they're more taking out equity in their home, fixing up their home and staying where they're at, or saying, I'll just wait it out and continue my lease and then see where we're at next year. And maybe the feds will see that we need to just go ahead and keep decreasing. We'll see.
And then I think we also talked about new construction pricing. Mm-hmm. That hit a slide, hitting $302,000 median price in June. And that was back in March, and its peak. $335,000.
Yes, so that was at the highest.
That shift could, indicate a little bit more affordable construction, builders being more flexible, more packages, closing costs, things like that. Builders are being more competitive.
Right.
All those. So why is that, April? Why are the builders coming up? Usually they're pretty tight on the numbers.
Yeah, they are. I think because there's so many options. I know that around here we have a ton of options. And so I think that median price is $300,000, which was still kind of where we were at last year. And so I think that inventory, there's just, you can see it. If you drive down Hardin Valley or anywhere, it's just neighborhoods after neighborhoods are going up. So
what happens when that market changes and the new construction changes and what we've seen over the years where the inventory changes and new construction, they've got these subdivisions that are moving on and the market shifts as what we're seeing. 335 to 300 is a big drop.
Right.
What happens to the resale market at that point?
I know you wonder about that because do they get more money for it when they resell it or less?
These are important things while we talk about it on the radio, just understanding that we always talk about new construction is our biggest competing factor, especially if the market shifts on you and the builders drop their price by 10%, 15%, and we always get into that scenario. Now buyers are comparing new home versus a resale. Builders got closing costs, discounts, they're throwing in the kitchen sink, the granite sink, and so it makes a very competitive marketplace. You know,
Exactly.
So one of those things just to think about. Now you're in the market, if you're getting a VA loan, if you're a veteran, you serve our country, we obviously give thanks for all your service to your country. You've helped hundreds of veterans. I don't know if you know a little bit about me, but I come from a large area where a military base is very close.
Yes.
A lot of our great veterans we've helped move in and out across the country, and always an honor to work with those guys.
You got it.
What we want to talk about today is when you do VA loan or you do 100%, there's some costs that want to make sure that you don't forget. Just because we're doing a VA loan, veterans, you need to keep in mind there is some costs that you may need to incur, and make sure you have some savings that are available.
Right, so even though it says no money down, that just means a down payment, not, no money out of pocket whatsoever.
What's some of those costs if you're a veteran relocated from Texas or North Carolina or Georgia, you're coming to our great state of East Tennessee, and they're a veteran, what do we need to expect for money and moving costs, things like that? What's the first thing that we'll need to incur?
Well, I think that we'll just kind of break down each one about how much it costs. And the first is that the lender's going to pull a credit report.
Sure.
And you're responsible for paying that. It's non-refundable. And that's about $30. So write that down in your budget. So then the second one will be your earnest money that you'll have to put down in your contract.
Now, does that range? I mean, who sets the earnest money price range? How does that determine?
I mean, you don't have to put any earnest money in if you don't want to. It's not required. It just looks better if you.
But we encourage, April and I always are talking to our clients. I mean, even if you're doing, let's say you're purchasing $300,000 to $500,000, doing a VA loan, putting that earnest money down is kind of like that security deposit for a rental. Really shows good faith. Shows you guys are serious about the move. You're committed. You put, the old saying, put money where your mouth is. It's important, and I think it shows more importantly the seller. They've got to move whether they're relocating or downsizing. How important it is that they pack their family up, hire a moving truck and things like that. So I think it makes a stronger offer, and obviously gets more consideration, especially if you're considering multiple offers.
It is, and but don't get discouraged if you have to come out with money out of pocket and you have to pay for all these things, and then you just don't have the earnest money. It's something that you can talk to your agent about and make sure that they just pass that along.
And we really work hard for our veterans. We're usually able, if they put a deposit down, how we work the deal, you can get that back at closing, so that's refunded back to you. So we work really hard for them.
Exactly.
For all that they've done. All right, what's next, April?
Appraisal. You have to have an appraisal.
Why do we need an appraisal?
Because you have to know what the value's worth, if they want to lend on it or not. So they'll give you an appraisal. They don't want you to buy it and give you a loan on $400,000 if it's only worth $350,000.
So with the VA, it's appraised, the government appraises it, it's a 100% loan. Key thing with doing a VA, and what we see all the time, is make sure that the property that you're picking is VA eligibility. VA is very tight on the restrictions, conditions, safety issues, things like that. So make sure you've got a great agent in your corner, and somebody that's done a lot of VA loans, somebody that works with a lot of veterans, that can guide you through the right properties that will fit. Because what we hate to do is pay for inspection fees, deposits, credit reports, and then appraisal, and then the property won't meet the VA guidelines. So
exactly, and that's about $300 to $450.
The appraisal, yes.
Yes. Okay. So write that down in your budget.
Number 4.
Number 4 is a home inspection.
Yep.
So home inspections are very important, and they also will give you conditions for the loan, and they require some repairs that need to be done or not be done.
Well, April, I'm doing a VA loan. The VA does a pretty extensive inspection for their veterans. Do I need to get an inspection?
Well, I think yes. The answer is yes.
Because, and that's what we get all the time. They do an extensive repair and kind of look more than your FHA VA. But there's so many things from radon to
Termite.
termites, to everything across the board, that they're not, I mean, it's well worth the money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're spending several $100,000 for a big purchase, it's worth a couple $100 investment.
Right,
So,
and then it depends on the size of your home as to how much you're going to spend, but we average it to be about $350 to $1,000. And
okay.
it just depends on if, you know, you add in the bells and whistles, because of course they're going to ask you, do you want radon, do you want this, do you want that? And then your termite is usually separate. It just depends on your home inspector, but it's normally, you know, $50 on average.
So the termite won't break us too bad?
No,
All right.
not too bad. Next you have recording fees. So if you want to go on a little bit about that, it's just what they have to record in public record. Do you know how much those usually cost? I'm not really sure of the fees on that, but you do have to pay that out at closing. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. It just kind of, the county that you live on, the county that you live on. The county that you live in, it just depends on what the recording fees are.
Sure.
Okay.
Transfer taxes, number 6, most important, obviously. We chatted about that, a little bit about that. But, you know, then we get title insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Always recommend title insurance, even if you're getting 100% loan to value. We just had a closing the other day that we're working on, and there's an unreleased judgment for $150,000. You don't want to deal with that after you close, and somehow it wasn't picked up by title. We were able to. Our team over there at Genesis Real Estate Title, Carla does a wonderful job, and always taking care of our clients, top-notch service. But she found that and made sure that they're going to be taken care of.
Yes.
But if not, we've got title insurance that's going to protect you for that. So especially on a VA loan, there's not a whole lot of money put down. You've got to make sure you have title insurance that covers you, the owner, not the lender.
Exactly.
So that you're covered there.
Yes. And then I think your closing cost, you know, I think you probably have maybe buyer fee or, you know, just kind of small fees or something like that. We can get down to the nitty gritty once you start, you know, in the closing process. The closing title company can give you more of a breakdown. HOA fees is another one, just depending on where you live and how much those are. And then your loan origination fees, about 1% of the loan amount to cover the origination, the processing, and the underwriting cost. So
excited you joining us. I'm so excited that follow us on Facebook, follow us online. We've got a great new property that's coming on the market. It is beautiful, 1615 Westland Lakes Way, Knoxville Symphony Home. Amazing. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. You'll want to see this home. It's hitting the market next week. As always, guys, thank you for joining Real Estate with Ryan. The easiest number in real estate, 693-SOLD. Visit at ryancoleman.org. Till next Saturday, 5 o'clock, have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us on social media. As always, we're back in the studios. Hope you're having a great week. It's about football time in East Tennessee. We're excited. We're going to be changing out to orange here in a couple weeks. I know you guys are. Let me know. We're going to have some tickets here for the next home game. I know the first one's in Charlotte. I haven't followed the schedule, but we're going to have some tickets to give out. We talked about in the show. Giving a lot of neat, different stuff. Fall is great time. We got Thanksgiving, Christmas, so many different things there. Hope you've enjoyed our show. We'll have it out on the blog. We'll talk about the housing market, the numbers. I know there's a lot of mixed information. Listen, there's the only place for the real estate information in your market. We're on 2 shows, as you guys know. Saturday on Talk Radio at 11 o'clock, we do the show live. And always, we're sitting here in the studios at News Talk 98.7. Hope you enjoyed it. Need anything, the boss over there's got us covered. 693-SOLD. Hope to see you next week. Take care.
Thank you.